Hey there, today I'm going to be showing you 5 of my all-time favorite ways on how to transform regular boxed cake mix into creative, delicious, easy recipes. I'm really excited for this today and I can't wait to share it with you, so let's head to my kitchen and start cooking. To kick us off today, we are making these cake mix cookies, and if you've never made cookies like this before, you really need to. So to begin, to my bowl, I cracked 2 eggs in there. Next, I'm adding about a half a cup of vegetable oil. Then you will add in 1 box of cake mix. You could use any type of cake mix you like, but I like using the Devil's Food chocolate cake mix. I just think it comes out really good. I beat these ingredients all together until everything was well combined. Now, this is the fun part. This is where you could really make it your own. So I'm adding about a cup of these Reese's peanut butter chips in, but you could use regular chocolate chips, M&Ms, really whatever you want. Then I just folded those in until they were well incorporated. I have my cookie tray lined with parchment paper for easy cleanup, and then I scooped about 2 tablespoons of the cookie dough for each of the balls. Then this is a little trick that I like doing. I like pressing a few more Reese's chips over the top of the cookie dough balls. This makes your cookies extra pretty if you didn't know, but I baked this on 350 degrees for about 5 to 6 minutes. Here's our cookies out of the oven. This is by far the easiest way to make homemade cookies, and I love how versatile this recipe is. You could really use any boxed cake mix and any add-ins to make any type of cookies you want for this specific recipe. I'm sure you'll love it. Now we're making this classic blueberry cobbler, and oh my, this one is good. So in my bowl right here, I have about 4 cups of fresh blueberries, or you could use frozen blueberries. You could also use strawberries or raspberries for this recipe too. That would be delicious. To the blueberries, I added the juice from 1 lemon. Next, I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar in, and I'm going to stir this all together until the brown sugar has pretty much dissolved. For this recipe, I'm using my larger baking dish. Go ahead and spray it with plenty of nonstick spray, just for easy cleanup in the end. Then I added our blueberry mixture right in there. I spread those blueberries out. Over the top of the blueberries, add 1 box of yellow cake mix and spread that cake mix out. You don't want to stir it in with the blueberries, just kind of be careful. Over the top of the cake mix, go ahead and spread out your 8 tablespoons of sliced butter. Then this is going to bake in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes, or until it is cooked and bubbly just like this. Here's my big bowl of cobbler. The crust is perfectly crispy on the outside and a little bit soft, just the way you want it. And then the inside is really nice and sweet, but not too sweet. Anyways, I serve this alongside of ice cream. I would typically serve it with vanilla ice cream, but I didn't have any vanilla ice cream on hand, so I just served it with this Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia, and it was really good. Now we're making this 7-Up Bundt Cake, and I know what you're probably thinking, but you gotta give this recipe a chance. It is so good. To my bowl, I cracked 4 eggs in there. Then I added 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, and I added 3/4 cup of 7-Up. Then I beat these ingredients together. Now we're going to toss in our box of yellow cake mix. Once we get that entire box in there, we are going to add in about a 3-ounce box of vanilla instant pudding. This is going to really help your cake not be dry. I gave this a really good stir. I made sure to grease and flour my bundt pan just to ensure that nothing stuck, and then I added that batter right in there. This baked on 325 degrees for about 45 minutes, or until it was completely cooked. Once our cake was out of the oven, I just flipped it over on a cooling rack just like this, and I let that cake completely cool down. Once it was cooled down, I started on the glaze. So in this bowl, I'm adding about 2 cups of powdered sugar. Next, you'll add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Give this a really good whisk until it turns into a glaze. I always love glazing cakes like this. It's just so fun to pour the glaze over the top and watch it drip down and do its job. Here's the finished product. I sprinkled plenty of powdered sugar over the top to make it look pretty, and this cake is not dry at all. It is the perfect cake, and it's so easy to throw together, especially using that boxed cake mix. It makes it really simple. Now we're making the cinnamon streusel cake. So to get it started, in my bowl right here, I'm adding 2/3 cup of this cake mix. I'm going to be saving the remaining cake mix for a little bit later on. You just wait and see. Then I added 1/4 cup of melted butter, 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. If you don't want to use pecans or you can't have pecans, you certainly don't need to add them to this recipe. They're optional. I also added 2/3 cup of brown sugar, and I gave it a really good stir. I set this to the side. We're going to start on the cakey layer now. So to this bowl, I added the remaining yellow cake mix that was in my box. Next, I added 1.5 cups of sour cream. The sour cream might sound silly, but it adds great flavor to this recipe. You just see for yourself. And then I added in 3 eggs, and I beat this together really well. I have my larger baking dish right here. I'm going to spray it with plenty of nonstick spray, and per usual, I have most of the items that I'm using in today's video linked in the description box below the video for you, just in case you want to buy something for yourself. Anyways, to my baking dish, I added 1/2 of that cakey layer. Next, I'm going to be adding 1/2 of that brown sugar mixture that we made up. Over the top of the brown sugar mixture, I'm adding the remaining cakey layer, followed by the brown sugar mixture again. This baked in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes, or until the center was cooked through. Here's what it looks like out of the oven. Those layers are just so beautiful, and the crumble on the top is so good. I really need to be making this streusel coffee cake more often. It's just really easy to throw together, and we all enjoy it here. Now we're making this cinnamon roll cake, and I am so excited to share it with you. To get it started, we're going to be adding our box of classic white cake mix to my bowl, and I'm just following the instructions on the back of the box. So I added the cake mix, of course. I added water, eggs, and oil, but I do want to let you know you could use any boxed cake mix for this recipe that you want. Just make sure you do follow the instructions on the back of your box. After I gave this a really good stir, I pulled out my 9x13 baking dish and I sprayed it with my nonstick spray. This is my favorite nonstick spray. It's just an avocado oil spray. Then I added my batter right in there, and I baked this according to the box instructions. While we have this in the oven baking away, we're going to start on the cinnamon filling now. So to my little bowl, I added in 1/2 cup of brown sugar, next 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a little dash of salt, and a can, about 14 ounces of sweet and condensed milk. You are going to stir this all together. Now that our cake is out of the oven and completely cooled down with the back of my spatula, I'm going to be poking holes just like this in the cake. This is going to help the filling be able to seep down and get in all of the crevices of the cake. Now with the filling, you are going to pour it all over those holes, then you are going to spread it out as even as possible. Now, the very last thing we are going to be doing is frosting the top of the cake. I'm using this store-bought container of cream cheese frosting. I did microwave it in the microwave for about 15 seconds without the lid, so it's just easier to spread. You could, of course, use homemade frosting if you'd like, but after I spread it out, it was time to serve it up. This cake is so good, and that cinnamon roll filling is out of this world. You really got to try this one. It's simple to make and delicious. I have plenty more videos like this coming out on my channel soon, so make sure you're subscribed down below the video so you don't miss any more in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.